Good morning and welcome to CFWE. I'm Jeremy Harp.
I'm Candace Ryan.
I'm George Canyon.
Finally get to have you in our studio.
See, that works really well. We got that.
I like it. You fit in real well.
I fit in.
Welcome to CFWE.
Thanks.
This
Great
is your
to
first
be here.
time here.
Yeah, I know. That's what's weird because I was telling you guys I don't know call letters. I'm terrible with call letters. I know numbers.
Right.
So I know I'm good with numbers, but that doesn't help because you go across the country and people are using the same numbers like in different provinces, so it messes me up. But yeah, I'm happy to be here. I see my picture on the wall, so now I'm having flashbacks to signing that. Now I remember.
You've had quite the career, hey?
I've had a blessed career. 28 years.
Wow. As you look over the 28 years, is there one that really stands out for you the most?
I think when I made it on Nashville Star, that was pretty freaky, to be honest. But they've all been such every year has been blessed in crazy ways. Things I've got to do, people I've got to meet, places I've got to go. I give a lot of thanks every day for it.
And you use your magical powers for good, which is...
magical powers.
I like to say...
How'd you know? I'm not wearing the cape. What's going on?
Well, you're in Edmonton for a very, very special event, the Kids and Us Conference, where you were one of the keynote speakers. And since you were diagnosed with type 1 diabetes as a young fella, you were told that because you wanted to be an airline pilot.
Air Force pilot.
Air Force
Canadian
pilot.
Air Force, best Air Force in the world, best military in the world. Let me get that in there. I was going to be an Air Force pilot, had it all planned out. You want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. And he must have been giggling something fierce when I was a kid because I had them all laid out. Got diabetes at 14, and they told me I'd never fly airplanes and I'd never be in the Air Force. And so I decided I'd be a doctor. Can you imagine me as a doctor?
Dr. Canyon?
It would be terrible.
It's a good ring to it.
That's very cool. But I mean, like George Canyon, that's a country name.
Yeah, that's definitely a country name. So it didn't pan out the way I thought back then. I'm very grateful now, as music was what I was supposed to do. But I've been a pilot for 13 years, and I served for 7.5 years as an honorary colonel.
Oh, that's
cool. Amazing.
So I did live my dreams, which is important, which is why I'm doing this, speaking at the Kids and Us conference, so that type 1 diabetic kids, and just as important, their parents know that if their child controls their disease, and it's not perfectly controlled, but works at it. That's what I tell kids. Just work at it every day. They can live their dreams. And when people tell them, oh, you can't do that because you're diabetic, and unfortunately I've heard stories of these two little girls, God love them, they were twins, and they said, they were 11, and they said, our teacher told us we could never be school teachers because we're type 1 diabetic, which we know is absolutely ridiculous. But it's vital that these kids know, no matter who tells them they can't do something, that if they work and control their disease, they can live their dreams. And that's part of why I'm here.
You got the conference happening tomorrow. Yeah, like I said, you were busy, guy. You do home game for the Calgary Flames. Sing
I'm the
the
anthem
national
singer.
anthem.
Yeah, I know. Everyone's like, I'm in Edmonton, Oilers country. And,
That's okay.
It's okay.
We won't hold it
Hey,
against you.
it's all about our province and having two teams and bringing the cup home
Definitely.
to our province. But this is I just finished my 4th season, hoping to do a 5th season, and it's such an honor. Well, first off, it's an honor to sing our anthem anywhere.
Yeah.
And the coolest place I've ever sang it was Kandahar.
Wow.
A couple times.
I remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that just, that is cool. But you go out in the ice, and especially playoff time. We didn't make the playoffs this year, and unfortunately you guys didn't either. Next year.
Next year.
But I remember doing playoffs a couple times now, and you stand on the ice, and you actually feel the ice vibrating. It's so loud and so intense, and I hear people singing.
Yeah.
People don't think I hear, and I hear, and it just puts a big smile on my heart.
Chills run through your body sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
One thing he told us off air was that he is Métis, a proud Métis man. I had no idea.
It's
We had
weird.
no idea.
I just found out.
Wow.
And like I said, my great grandma, I'm trying to remember how many grandmas back, was Mi'kmaq. And she was taken by the church when she was little, and all the records got burned. So there was no way to prove. And my uncles back home in Nova Scotia were trying to figure this out, and lo and behold, one of the great aunts said, "Did you know that your papa was Métis?" And then they did the research, and sure enough, so now they're doing all the paperwork, and then they're sending it to me.
That's cool.
And it's not about that; it's not about the paperwork for me, but it's about being proud of
You're very
my
proud.
heritage. Yeah,
You're a proud Canadian in
darn
general.
right. I'm a full-out proud Canadian.
That's good.
I don't live in America. People think I do. I don't. I live here, born and raised here, met my wife here, raised our kids here. My wife's from Flin Flon, Manitoba.
Oh, yeah.
And this is where they'll bury this body when I'm all done with it, hopefully a long time from now.
I got to hear some music. It's I've never heard
Well,
you
you're
sing
in a radio
live, so-
station. Just hit
Yeah.
play on something. You
Well,
can
you
hear
got
music
your
all day
guitar
long.
there. Love
I
to
got
hear a
my
song.
guitar. Yeah. Well, you're going to play the new single.
Yeah.
So that leaves me to play I don't know. I only know 2 songs, 1.5 really. We could do. Since you guys play everything, and I really love that, because you know me, I'm a huge fan of the old stuff. Love is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring. Bound by wild desire, I fell into a ring of fire. Everybody! I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, 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 the flames, they went higher, and it burns, 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 the ring of fire, the ring of fire. The taste of love is sweet when hearts like ours meet. Well, I fell for you like a child. Oh, my fire went wild. I fell into a burning ring of fire. I went down, down, down. The flames, they went higher. And it burns, burns, burns. The ring of fire, the ring of fire. And it burns, burns, burns. My ring of fire, that ring of fire.
Yes! George Canyon live at CFWE this morning. Of course, George, you'll be at the Kids and Us conference in Edmonton tomorrow, Chateau Louis, or this afternoon, make that, between or until 4 o'clock. You also have a brand new song called Better Off in Love.
Better Off in Love.
This is a great song.
Written by Brett Jones, who wrote a bunch of hits in the 90s. And to me, excusing the old country music, which I'm a huge fan of, obviously, but the 90s country, there was something special. It's like 80s rock. Totally. Which I will always love till the day I die, but I'm not allowed to wear spandex, and I can't grow hair that long. But 90s country was unbelievable. And we were just talking about Clay Walker. I covered Clay Walker's songs playing bars across this country so many times. And Clint Black. Brett Jones wrote this song, Better Off in Love, and it just was so indicative of 90s country. I was like, oh, my God, I love this song. And I called him, I said, and I write with him, and I said, Brett, do you mind if I change a couple words? Just to make it a little more Canadian, because you know me. And he's like, 100%, I'm behind it. I love Canada. I love Canadians. Have been dealt, they treat me so well. So he let me change a couple lines, so the Canadian lines are in there. People have to pick them out. Pretty easy to pick them out. Pretty easy. But I'm so happy with this song, and I'm so excited that it's a single, because it, to me, it's the country music that I played in the 90s for all those years.
Awesome.
You've come a long way from I'll Never Do Better Than You. I think that's the first song that I really started to get to know you, and I love that song. That was such a good tune.
Yeah, I still love that song.
Yeah,
and the fans still sing that song.
Really?
I'll just stop and they take over.
That's got to be one of the most amazing feelings.
If you go to a concert, one of the best things you can ever do for an artist is sing their song back to them as loud as you can. It doesn't matter if your voice sounds like 2 cats fighting on a hot tin roof. Doesn't matter. Sing it as loud as you can, because as an artist, that just warms our heart.
I get emotional going to concerts when the artist is getting their song sung back to them.
Oh yeah, no wonder. It's a really cool feeling, and it's hard to describe or put into words, but it's an amazing thing to do.
Awesome meeting you finally.
You guys,
you're welcome back anytime.
I will come back lots.
Here is George Canyon, his brand new song, Better Off in Love, on CFWE.